My name is Park Sejun. It was my 150 days in the dungeon. Someday in 2023, 100 towers rise from the ground out of thin air. The Black Tower is rampant, but it is also full of opportunities and wealth. Countless adventurers have come to explore, but only those who were awakened by the Black Tower. You can come and go freely. Awakened people will basically appear on the first floor. I'm an exception. I was in this dungeon when I was awakened. The dungeon only has a pool of black water and a stone. Looking at the ingredients I just bought from the supermarket, I had an idea in my heart. I broke the green onions. Dig a good pit. Pour in with the remaining water. Wait until I'm done with it. It's already dark. Look at the moonlight overhead. It was actually a blue moon. There seems to be a flying monster as well. Then I passed out. The next day, I found the green onions that had just been planted yesterday. Suddenly, he grew taller than me. I hurriedly plucked the green onions. Only the rhizomes are left, due to lack of food. You can only use green onions on top of your stomach. Just take a bite. I was spicy straight to the fire. It feels better after rinsing in the pool. It seems that you can only eat small tomatoes for breakfast. I took the tomato and looked at the sun. Reminds me of last night's blue moon, and the monster that looked like a dragon. But I learned from the news. No one has ever seen or mentioned dragons. The first floor of the Black Tower is the training ground. Floors 2 to 10 are skeleton monsters. Floors 11 to 20 are goblins. Floors 21 to 30 are half-orcs. The 31st floor is a spider spirit. At present, the number of floors cleared has only gone to 37 floors. Could be that the dragon is on a higher level. I looked at the ground and thought. Suddenly I saw a figure. It's a rabbit. The rabbit suddenly jumped from a height of 10 meters. I ran over to catch it. The rabbit made a relay to my head, and he jumped to the ground. It turned out that it was attracted by the green onions I planted. The rabbit pointed to the green onion. I instantly understood what it meant. I stepped forward and broke off a green onion and gave it to the rabbit. The rabbit sees that I have no ill will towards it. It shouted twice at the old man. Suddenly, another figure appeared. A perfect landing. Pulled out a hat and a kettle. Give another rabbit. I looked at the two little bunnies. You're not going to be a couple, are you? The two rabbits seemed to understand. Shyly screamed twice. What the hell am I doing wrong? In this situation, I still have to eat dog food. 2 rabbits under my arrangement. The division of labor is very clear. Quickly completed the task of harvesting green onions. Although they do an excellent job. But now food is so scarce. I probably won't be able to raise these 2 bunnies. The rabbits seemed to understand my steps. Ran to my feet and pleaded. Look at their cute appearance. I felt like my heart was hit by 10,000 cuteness. Who can withstand this? Okay, I'll make it difficult for you to stay. The 2 rabbits listened. Straight to me. This kettle can hold a river. The palm-sized kettle can pour out endless water. It's like being given some kind of magic. The treasure bag that the rabbit's sister-in-law carries with her. I was able to pull out countless tools from it. They seem to be born farmers. The source where all this happened. It's me in a dungeon where all beasts are infested. Adopted 2 rabbits. The rabbit couple looks at the empty dungeon. Jumped to 100 meters away. Under the guidance of the rabbit's daughter-in-law. Bunny husband picked it up. The hoe digs it. It didn't take long to dig a 5-meter deep pit. It only took 10 minutes to cover the nest. Brother Rabbit was so tired that he lay down. I was about to compliment him. Suddenly, a rabbit hand was placed on his shoulder. I saw the rabbit's sister-in-law blushing. Rabbit pointed to the newly built hut. Brother Rabbit secretly said that it was not good. Then he was dragged into the hut. I watched it all in silence. Brother Rabbit, I wish you happiness. Think about it too. It's nap time. I was about to lie down on the stone and squint for a while. Think about how you can create more food in the future. Suddenly, there was a burning smell. It hurt so much that I instinctively bounced up 2 meters high. What's the situation? How did the good end catch fire? I saw the sun shining on the mineral water bottle. Refraction occurred. The green onion leaves are faintly sparkling. A bolt of lightning instantly struck my celestial spirit cover. I actually created fire in such a harsh environment. All you need is a magnifying glass-like bottle of mineral water. Then I picked up the water bottle and found a good angle. But I'm bending down to blow it. The angle is wrong. Just when I was worrying about how to light the fire. So that the rabbit brother in the enclosure pulled the radiant rabbit sister-in-law. Walked out. I saw that I was blowing green onion leaves nonstop. The rabbit couple was full of curiosity. I learned in a good way. In the end, with the cooperation of me and a rabbit, Mars is finally on fire. Since there is a fire, then you have to eat something hot. I looked at the green onion next to me. I suddenly had an idea. Then the green onions appeared in the fire. After baking for a while, it should be about the same. I peeled off a layer of green onions. Put it straight into your mouth. The 2 rabbits just watched me quietly. Can green onions still be delicious after being burned in the fire? Wow, my roasted green onions aren't spicy at all. It's like a fiery horse dancing on my tongue. The two rabbits looked at each other. Pick up the green onions and roast them for a while. It doesn't matter if it's hot or not. Straight to the mouth. Despite what kind of rabbit tip this is. Delicious. They had never eaten such delicious green onions. So I had my first meal of food in the dungeon. Another good day. I stretched. I walked to the sink and washed my face. Looking at the dark pool. It is also unknown if there are any creatures in the water. So I made torches out of green onions and green onion leaves. After igniting it, it is about to be inserted next to the pool. Suddenly there was movement in the water. A strange-looking fish emerges from the bottom of the water. I was scared and flashed to the side. Smack! The big fish fell to the ground. Look at the big fish fluttering on the ground. It just seemed to be rushing towards the fire. Since the big fish like fire so much, then let's help him. I didn't expect to be able to eat fresh fish here. It's incredible. Full of protein. It's so delicious. The two rabbits looked at me with blank eyes. The rabbit pointed to his mouth. Do you want to eat fish? This is a piranha who likes to put out fires. Living in a dark pool for a long time. Just to be able to fight against the light one day. Not even a single ray of flame can be spared. I gave the rest of my life for this. Even two rabbits. I was also moved by the feed of this fish, and my saliva flowed. After tasting the delicious fish, the number of rabbit couples coming home is increasing. It was the morning of the 61st day I was trapped in the dungeon. I'm preparing a piranha breakfast for everyone. I saw Brother Rabbit dragging his tired body out. He didn't seem to have slept well last night. Immediately after that, 5 bunnies drilled from the nest. It slammed into my face. Surrounded by 5 bunnies. The old man's girlish heart is licked. Then I sat up. Let the tired rabbit sister-in-law and rabbit brother eat breakfast to make up for it. Then I picked up the 5 bunnies and ran out the door. The tomatoes that had been planted so hard also blossomed. It seems that it will not be long before it can be eaten. On fresh tomatoes. A rabbit cub is curious about tomato flowers. But his nose was pasted with pollen. Can't help but sneeze. I smiled and pointed to the bunny. You can't eat this flower. We'll have little tomatoes to eat soon. But the most important thing is, it's time for the blue moon phenomenon, which happens every 30 days. This time I was well prepared. Surely no monster will find me. At night, the moonlight slowly shone into the dungeon. I'm huddled in a corner. Suddenly, there was a roar. It was a loud bang. The whole dungeon trembled. A 99-meter-tall, red-haired bear stands above the dungeon. In the light of the blue moon, the red-haired bear looks particularly eerie. I was very nervous at this point. I quietly picked up my backpack. Get ready to go to more hidden corners. Suddenly, the contents of the backpack fell off. The water bottle slammed to the ground. The movement resounded. Secluded dungeons. Oops was discovered by the giant bear. Early the next morning, when I slept soundly, it felt like someone was pulling me. I woke up loud too. I haven't showered in 3 months. Don't eat me. Am I alive? Other rabbits saw that I was awake. He raised his little hand to greet me. At this point, my whole head was still clouded. Apparently, I was discovered by a giant bear. Why didn't anything happen? I only remember last night, after hearing the roar of a giant bear. I immediately woke up with a sharp pain in my head. Now is the time. Looking back, I still feel scared. The body also trembled involuntarily. Brother Rabbit thought I was sick. A fire was lit. And take the green onion coat and put it on me. Sister-in-law Rabbit also handed me a very intimate grilled fish. Yes, I have to pull myself together. After all, there's still a family of rabbits waiting for me to raise. At this time, Brother Rabbit hurriedly ran over and gestured. What is this thing? A large tomato with a blue glow. I gently plucked this blue tomato. You have successfully completed the mission. Harvest contains fruit of blue moon energy. What the hell is this? Scared Lao Tzu. Your amazing achievement caught the attention of the tower administrator. The drop tower keeper is staring at you. The tower keeper was not very happy. I looked closely at the dialogue box in front of me. Why does he feel unhappy? Drip tower keeper found. You are not a guest officially invited. The tower keeper wants to hide this bug. Are you kidding? What does this mean? I am not a guest of official invitation. Stuck me here for so long. Do you think it's a playhouse? Let me out. The tower keeper is considering whether or not to kill you. To eliminate the evidence. It's too much. I even got an achievement. Not only is there no reward law, and you want to kill me. Yes. The administrator is silent. He wouldn't be really angry. The tower keeper is awakening you. A flash of light immediately flashed around me. Then the light flew away. Is this awakening successful? The tower caretaker has assigned you a career. Great. My wish is to become a magician. What the hell is my profession? Congratulations on becoming Tanyon F rank. Based on your profession, you won't get sick. You'll be closer to nature. You will gain experience points when you harvest crops. You're not kidding me. Request to open a status window. Commissioning distance. Level 1. Talent. Normal strength, 1 endurance fan. Summary. 1 magic, 1 profession, Tunyon F rank. Skill without this talent is too bad. I'm a farmer. This damn farmer. It's not right. I was so angry that I picked up the tomato and was about to smash him. I saw that the rabbits and cubs looked up at them one after another. I was taken aback by my sudden change. I looked at the blue tomato in my hand. Oh yes, it's not just the fruit of my own labor. There is also the sweat of the rabbit and the whole family. Little ones, we're going to keep farming. This is a tomato with human consciousness. It will not only enchant itself, it also self-ripens. And it also has a hidden feature. Just eating it can reduce a kilogram of fat. And in the last second, I almost broke it, just because I was inexplicably summoned to the dungeon by the Black Tower administrator, and cut me off from the outside world. It trapped me for 61 days. The administrator has awakened to my profession. Everyone else is a magician or a warrior. I'm a farmer by profession. Look at a bunny family that lives in the dungeon with me. I rekindled my fighting spirit to live. The magical cherry tomatoes fill the blue moon. Eating it permanently increases mana by 5. I was taken aback. Didn't expect this tomato. It's actually a prop that can increase mana. The thought of how much more tomatoes I could grow. I'll have to ask for these 2 rabbits in the future. What I don't know at this point is, on a certain floor of the Black Tower, the administrator was watching my every move. You triggered a task. Fruits that will contain the energy of the blue moon. Provided to the tarot administrator. You'll get a work-related memory. If you refuse, you will die. What a task this is. How dare you threaten me? Apparently, he wants me to hand over the blue moon tomatoes. And let me choose. As a real man, you will not be coerced. But I did it voluntarily. I saw the blue moon tomato in my hand. It disappeared in the blink of an eye. Congratulations on completing mission. Please check for mission rewards. The quest mentions rewarding a skill. It seems that I made the right choice. Let me see what surprises come your way. Congratulations on obtaining the seeding skill level. The sowing skill increases the chance of germination when planting. Same as I thought. It's really useless. But I was pleasantly surprised. The thing is that my career can be upgraded quickly. After I woke up to the profession, I started catching piranhas constantly. Piranhas have been successfully caught. Successfully earned 2 XP. Before you know it, you will be promoted to the 2nd level. But in order for piranhas to have enough time to reproduce, I dismissed the idea of continuing to capture. After the food is cooked, the bunnies all ran over. Not only the food source is solved, I also found the real species of rabbits, the farmer white rabbit. They are indeed a species that specializes in agriculture. No wonder it has not been heard of in the outside world. Although I don't understand their language. But we still get along. At all costs. Today is a good day for a good harvest on my farm. The tomatoes are all ready to be harvested. Seeing the tomatoes that had been so hard planted finally bear fruit. That's what it's like to be a farmer. Then next, just take them all off. The first universal tomato is born. A ripe miraculous saintus has been harvested. Work experience value increased. Gain real XP. Magical cherry tomatoes. Just eat it. You can lose a kilogram of fat. And gain 1 mana. That's an exaggeration, isn't it? Harvest only 1 tomato. You can increase your experience by that much. You've harvested an unripe miraculous cherry tomato. There is no work experience value. Earn 7 XP. I accidentally picked it up by mistake. It seems that only ripe fruit can be picked. Congratulations on your progress to level 4. Gain 1 bonus stat quality. Grow your own tomatoes. Don't overdo it. I was about to put a tomato in my mouth. I saw the bunnies looking at me with angry faces. I hurriedly handed the tomatoes out. It's all in this together. The results must be shared. We just put the tomato in our mouth. Tomato juice slid down the throat. A sense of familiarity came over me. It's like lying on the grass. Look at the firelight that flies into the sky. The fragrance of the grass. There is also a sweet and sour taste. It's like a firework in the middle of summer. It's the taste of summer. Who understands the family? The 2 rabbits looked at me with blank faces. Husband, did he choke on tomatoes? Who knows? We rabbits still don't care about human affairs. The white rabbit couple gave birth to 5 babies in one night. Rabbit, just to repay my kindness with a green onion. This will help me increase the number of people on my farm. Help take care of it. Now under the tutelage of the rabbit couple. The 5 bunnies also work very hard. Look at the bunny as it grows up. The shopkeeper can also rest in peace. When I was building the agricultural empire of the future, the administrator sent me a message. A new mission begins. Feed 100 magical cherry tomatoes to the administrator. Rewards a class-related skill. Refuse to accept the task. You will die. The administrator saw that I did not respond. He roared at me. I was so frightened that I immediately got up. Respectfully bring 100 freshly picked tomatoes. Congratulations on completing the mission. The Tower Keeper is happy with your performance, whether or not to turn on rewards. Then I shuddered and opened the reward. Please give me some better skills. Congratulations on getting it. Harvest skill levels. When harvesting a product, the products are harvested in the best condition. At this point, I want to cry so much. Why is it again such a useless skill? But then I realized that I was wrong. Harvesting skills has helped me a lot. When I harvest slightly unripe or overripe fruit, one effect, it will activate into a ripe miraculous cherry tomato. To make the fruit in the best condition, skill XP increased. 1. Work experience value increases. Gain 10 XP. Thanks to the harvest skills. I don't need to tell if the fruit is fully ripe. And you can get a job at the time of harvest. XP triggers the mission. Feed 200 magical cherry tomatoes to the administrator. There are no rewards. Otherwise, you will die. After each harvest, the administrator will send the task on time. And there are no rewards this time. It's all a kleptocratic act. I brought out 50 tomatoes. It's up to you to provide me with good skills. Only so much can be given to you. But soon I regretted it. I found that this was just the beginning. The caretaker asks you to feed 250 tomatoes. Reward professional skills. If you don't give it, you die. The caretaker asks you to feed 300 tomatoes. Bonus class features. If you don't give it, you die. Look at the escalating demands. I started to panic. Until today, I received a message from the administrator. Feed 500 tomatoes to the keeper. There are no rewards. If you don't give it, you die. 500 is not yet rewarded. I don't lose my temper. You're really Hello Kitty, aren't you? I choose to refuse. The administrator expressed surprise. That's right, I was surprised too. This is also the first time I denied an admin's request. Then I turned on the spit mode to the admin. You took hundreds of tomatoes from me before. This is the food we live on every day. Administrator, don't go too far. The administrator said it was your farm's problem. It's none of his business. So stop resisting. Hand over the tomatoes. Miso and water every day. It took a few months to get the harvest now. You even say it's my problem. The administrator says you just planted the seeds. Has you. Don't react to something inconsequential. What we live by. But you say it doesn't matter. I'm not going to give you tomatoes this time. The administrator panicked at this point. I then turn around, walk to the side. Keep up my work. The administrator asks you if you really decline the task. The administrator says if you decline the task, you may die. He said you're really going to die. I look at the dialogue box fiercely. I don't grow my own tomatoes. Give it to those who say, I just planted the seeds. The administrator thinks this is what Tanyon should do. And he's the administrator. You should listen to him. I sighed. That's why I don't want to give you tomatoes. You've always forced me to do this. But I don't appreciate you at all. Just give me a little compensation for exploitation. You're not a competent administrator at all. How dare you say that about me? From small to large. For the first time, a human dared to speak to me like that. Is it really my fault? It's not okay for me to apologize. The administrator's words stopped as soon as they reached his lips. Just because the administrator saw it through the crystal ball. A scene that he still can't forget. The admin is angry right now. Because you ate the tomatoes yourself. If you don't complete the task, he's gonna kill you right now. I didn't rush to pull out 5 tomatoes. Look at you, so pathetic. I'll give you that first. The rest will be given to you later. Because I have to feed the little ones first. They're all about to fight because of tomatoes. With the disappearance of the tomato on hand. The administrator said he would only compromise this time. The conversation then ended. A wicked smile tugged at the corner of my mouth. He just wanted to apologize to me. It seems that it is very easy to handle the administrator. The man lay in bed without opening his eyes for 3 days. In order to nourish the spirit and witness the coming of the blue moon. Just because I'm trapped in a dungeon. Experienced 4 blue moons. But I didn't look at it once. Every time I was stunned by the roar of monsters. I even wonder if it's due to lack of sleep. In order to witness the blue moon this time, I was ready 3 days in advance. I saw the bright moonlight scattered on the vegetable patch. Look at the scene in front of you. My eyes widened. The blue moon is finally coming. The small green tomatoes protrude after being bathed in moonlight. However, it evolved into the blue moon tomato. I didn't find out until now. This is how the blue moon tomato was born. I saw the moonlight shining through the tomato on the sweet potato leaves. There was a stir beneath the sweet potato leaves. Seeing this, I hurriedly ran over to check. I was lying on the ground, dig up the soil with both hands. The scene in front of me directly shocked my jaw. The sweet potatoes buried in the soil turned blue. Congratulations on getting sweet potatoes full of blue moon energy. When it is consumed, it increases your strength and 5 mana. Work experience has been greatly improved. Harvesting skills are proficiently improved. Harvest skills are upgraded to level 2. You have gained 50 XP. Then I plucked a blue moon tomato. At this point, I felt like I had discovered the greatest treasure in the world. Additional tasks are penalized. I knew the gluttonous administrator was coming. Sweet potatoes and tomatoes with blue moon energy are available. To the administrator, there are no rewards. Refusal will be dead. You're too ruthless this time. I want both. I didn't rush to pull out a basket of small tomatoes. Only 5 were given to you in the last mission. I made it up this time. The mission has been accomplished. The caretaker was pleased with the miraculous cherry tomatoes in the basket. The administrator mutters to you. What are you doing now? I looked at the aggressive administrator. I won't give it to you this time. I'll talk about that next time. The administrator bluffed. Then you have to give him sweet potatoes afterward. Seeing that the administrator compromised again, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then he looked at the tomatoes and sweet potatoes in front of him. There are so many people in the rabbit family, and it's not enough to divide it. I'll eat the tomatoes myself. I don't know if it's because I'm ashamed to eat alone. After swallowing the tomato, I trembled and blurred. I felt like all the fat was burning all over my body. The screen turns. I wrapped the sweet potatoes in green onion leaves and threw it into the fire. It's a pity that I didn't bring tin foil with me. But luckily, I have the almighty green onion leaves. Waiting for delicious food was my happiest time. But it's strange. I didn't hear the roar of the monster all night. It was fast at the early hours of the morning. The rabbit family also got up on time. The scent that envelopes the entire dungeon. Let the rabbit family get stuck at the door. They looked at Park Sejun in surprise. This man who lay in bed for 3 days without opening his eyes. At this time, breakfast was being made for the first time. Naturally, I don't know the little 99 in the hearts of rabbits. I took the roasted sweet potatoes and handed them. That's it for your breakfast today, even if it is wrapped in green onion leaves. The sweet potatoes still have a lovely aroma. I saw that the rabbit's saliva was about to drown the ground. But Brother Rabbit stopped in front of the sweet potato, pointed at me with that soft bunny finger, and what to say to the rabbit sister-in-law. I seem to understand what Brother Rabbit means. You mean because there's only one. So you want me to eat it myself? Brother Rabbit nodded again. My eyes suddenly went into the sand. What a fairy rabbit this is. At the moment, I felt like I was back home. I touched Brother Rabbit's head with emotion. I'm not going to tell them. I secretly ate the blue moon tomato myself. But since Brother Rabbit said so, I'm rude to shirk it any longer. Let me taste it. This trough is hot, hot, hot. The tongue was completely burned. I subconsciously threw the piping hot sweet potato out. Click. Sweet potatoes fall to the ground. Seeing this, Brother Rabbit secretly suffered. I just wanted to pick up the sweet potatoes. 5 little hands quickly picked up the sweet potatoes. Stuff the sweet potato into your mouth at once. What I didn't expect was, the sweet potatoes are still piping hot. The bunny spit out the sweet potatoes one after another. They all squatted on the ground and cried. Oops, it's a hot day, man. Man is trapped alone in a dungeon. He doesn't have to worry about eating and drinking every day. When you are thirsty, drink the sweet water of the pool. Eat fresh piranha when you're hungry. But the existing food will eventually be eaten. The strong soul of Bay, ye filled me with fighting spirit. I'm bound to be here. Build my own farming empire. The bunnies are all listening to me. In order to stock up on food in advance. Now on, we're going to grow sweet potato sprouts on a large scale. That's right, it's something you've been eating for a day. You are now forbidden to eat these. Immediately, 5 little bunnies pounced on me and pleaded. Don't be coquettish with me. I'm not going to change my mind. The kid on the right. How did you put that on that face? Is there any misunderstanding between us? But here's the good news. Tonight we will have more delicious sweet potatoes. But, if you can help me sow sweet potatoes before then, I'll be making some special snacks for you. Listening to the rabbit's dissatisfaction, the mood was instantly emptied. I was quickly overwhelmed by my charisma. They picked up the sweet potato sprouts and worked in a vegetable field. A small rabbit is in charge of digging the hole. The other one came and sowed the sweet potato seedlings. Under the strong genetic influence of parents, the cooperation is very tacit. Brother Rabbit came over to help water the children. And the rabbit sister-in-law was arranged by me to harvest green onions. I saw a little rabbit holding a sweet potato. While everyone was not paying attention, they ate it in a big gulp. Unexpectedly, Daddy Rabbit flashed behind him. A slap made the little bunny's brain buzz. At this point, I was picking small tomatoes. Prepare treats for bunnies. Harvested ripe artifact cherry tomatoes. There was a slight increase in harvesting skill proficiency. There is a slight increase in the value of work experience. Gain 10 XP. Congratulations on reaching level 8. Gain 1 stat value. The work experience value is full. Tanyon level 2 leader system. First, the characteristics of the work will be strengthened. In a short time, I was collecting the tomatoes. Sit by the fire. You'd never think of what kind of snacks I'm going to make right now. Interestingly, the admin is keeping an eye on what you're going to do today. I suddenly felt a pair of eyes staring at me behind me. Wait for me to turn my head. I only saw the disappearing dialogue box shouting. The administrator was sneaking a peek at me. 2.5 minutes had passed. I called the rabbit family who were busy with their work. It's something you've never eaten. Special grilled tomato bone skewers. Small tomatoes. It is grilled on piranha bones that have been washed. It makes tomatoes sweeter and softer. Then the rabbits picked up the new skewers. Danced on the spot with joy. I picked up the skewers and went to the sweet potato patch. Enough had been planted before. I'm going to dig some for dinner. Dig and dig in the small vegetable garden. Plant small seeds to dig. Big digging. Because the sweet potato is super sweet. After consumption, it breaks down 2 kilograms of fat in the body and increase the strength value by a little. The effect stacks 10 times per day. It was just over 2.5 minutes. I dug 15 sweet potatoes, looking at the sweet potato sprouts that I plucked on the ground. So I picked it up and planted it. Sweet potato sprouts have been planted in the soil next to it. The sowing skill increases the likelihood of sweet potato sprouts growing. There's a slight increase in sowing experience. I stared at the system box. Is the sweet potato that you planted casually considered a seed? I seem to have forgotten something. I need to plant all the plants. To increase my skill level, I hurriedly stopped the bunnies who were still planting. At this time, even the administrator started to mock me with his real name. I saw the administrator holding a large sword in his hand. There are 99 small tomatoes on the top. This is the kebab tomato I just invented. I didn't expect to be eaten by this fat dragon while stealing blood when I turned my head. Don't forget to put it in the fire to heat it up. Immediately after that, he ate 97 tomatoes in one bite. Unexpectedly, he vomited in the next second. Damn, why does this taste so bitter? As if I scorched it. It's all because the human didn't teach me how long to bake. Let me see what that human is doing right now. What they're watching at the sweet potato party. They didn't even notify me. Completely unwilling to forgive those bastards. If it weren't for me, the great black dragon Aaron Furtani. How they have a flame roasted sweet potatoes. The scene returns to the dungeon. The bunnies and I were eating sweet potatoes for dinner. Extra tasks have already been penalized. Please give the administrator a roasted sweet potato. There are no rewards. Refusal will be dead. See task information. I was completely stunned. Sure enough, it's the administrator, a foodie. He would only be late for every meal, but never absent. This time he actually wanted to prostitute me for nothing. And I turned my head. There is only one sweet potato left. I'll talk about that next time. The administrator was visibly panicked. The caretaker advises you to bake sweet potatoes for him. He said if you don't bake sweet potatoes for him, he won't let go. Look at, I asked. Can you give me any reward? His administrator has just modified the task. The task is triggered. Give the administrator a roasted sweet potato. Reward a job-related skill. Refusing a mission will result in death. Seeing this, I picked up the last sweet potato and handed it over. Okay, no problem. I'm going to give you sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes disappear in an instant. The mission has been accomplished. Request to open the reward. You get the seed shop level. When the skill is activated, one product can be purchased in the seed store every 30 days. It's incredible. Admin, why did you just give me the skill now? I immediately made a gesture that set 2 of them. Activate the seed storage skill. The seed store is activated. View the transaction history of customer Park Sejun. User Pusher. June doesn't have any transaction history. Skills that just open for me. I certainly don't have a transaction history. Incidentally, how do I buy? I don't have any money. Is it possible to barter? We are pleased to offer our customers as a service. Congratulations. Become the first rookie customer of the seed store. We will deposit a tar coin. Transfer to Park Sejun's account at the seed bank. I saw a jolt in the dialog box in front of me. You have successfully obtained a coin on the Tarcoin Tower. Is this a currency that is used inside the tower? What can I buy here? For novice users, the seed store will show you 3 seeds at random. You can purchase one at your current level. 1,000 red pepper seeds, 0.1 ta 1,000 cabbage seeds, 0.1 tongimhanga 1,000 carrot seeds. I don't choose 0.1 tarts, red peppers, and cabbage. Because I'm in a dungeon, and won't make kimchi. That's just carrot seeds. The rabbits hear the word carrot. They all turn their heads to look at me. Brother Rabbit and sister-in-law immediately ran to my lap. Seems to be confirming this with me. And I asked them a question like a fool. Do you want to eat carrots? After hearing this, the rabbit couple became extremely excited. That's right. Where are rabbits that don't eat carrots? It's so fun to see them. I'm also happy. Forget about buying seeds altogether. Click. Brother Rabbit flew up and kicked me. Teach me to be a human being. Success helped me pull my mind back. Congratulations on your purchase of 1,000 carrot seeds. 0.1 T is withdrawn. You have earned 1 seed mile. Seed miles can be used to increase a character's level. The current mileage required to upgrade is 100 points. A random pack of red bags fell out. Thank you for buying seeds from the seed store. You can try it again in 30 days. The value of this package looks like a kind. The sub-high admin is very satisfied with your purchase. Why did he feel so happy when I bought the seeds? At all costs, we will be able to eat delicious carrots later. Above the dungeon, a small bee is attracted by the sound of the hole. I didn't expect the dungeon to be very desolate before. It's so lively now. A rabbit that is not yet a full moon was ruthlessly left behind by his parents. Just because of the January blue moon phenomenon. Rabbits turn into terrifying monsters when exposed to moonlight. Rewind to the early morning a few days ago. We've been planting carrots for days. There are still no signs of germination. The rabbits seem to be immersed in. The joy of being able to eat carrots is about to begin. That being the case, it's better to catch up on sleep first. In the afternoon, I have to give tomato flowers. It's a big job. Suddenly, a UFO flew in front of my eyes. The buzzing sound kept me from falling asleep quietly. I slammed to my feet. Damn, there are bugs. Disturbed young master been to bed. But I saw the creatures in front of me. It's actually a bee. The bees were also watching suspiciously. It seemed to be the first time he had seen a human in his life. What a cute little bee. You get closer. Let me take a closer look at your name. I saw a system prompt pop up in front of me. This is actually a poisonous bee. I've got to hurry up and tell my bunny guys. Do not come close. However, Brother Rabbit and sister-in-law, he had already fled 50 meters away with the rabbit cub. You dead rabbits. How can you bear to leave me here alone? Said the tower administrator. The venomous bee is a carnivorous bee. They use their stingers to prey on monsters and eat their flesh. So the stingers on the poisonous bees are very dangerous. The best thing to do is to avoid them. I was shocked to hear it. The world has changed too much. For the first time, I heard that bees actually eat meat. Immediately, I hurriedly waved my hand to catch the bees. It's like a bee being provoked by my actions. The momentum that emanates. It seems like it's going to swallow me alive in the next second. I sat down in fright. The right hand is constantly groping for the weapon in hand. Suddenly, I seemed to be grasping at a lifeline. I reached over the tomato branch that I had caught. I saw that the bee was full of doubts. Looked curiously at the flower bud in front of you. The whole space fell silent. I opened my eyes in confusion. I saw that the bees were sucking the juice of the tomato flowers. And he also showed a happy face. I looked at the admin interface speechlessly. Didn't you say they were carnivores? And I looked at the bees with a look on my face and God. I am the owner of this farm. I pointed to the tomato patch next to me. You're hungry. You can also eat other words. The bee turned and flew to the tomato field. I smiled. And so it goes. I don't have to pollinate tomatoes anymore. I turned my head to look at the rabbit hiding next to me. A rabbit that will only run away on its own when in danger. You still have the face to come back. The rabbits came to my lap when they saw this, rubbing his fleshy little face around. It was just over 2.5 minutes, and the bees flew back to me. I was so scared that I kept backing away. Such a large tomato field. You won't be hungry. However, the bee flew to my chest and stopped. He stretched his little waist. I snapped and fell asleep. What a damn thing. Bees are so cute. I even thought he was going to eat me. Looks like we've got one more member in our family. The screen turns. I've been trapped in the dungeon for 120 days. The daily work on the farm enriches us. The bunnies are still mischievous like they used to be. Look at the lively bunny. It's good to be young and energetic. At this time, the bee flew up to my shoulder after sucking the honey. After a few weeks of getting along, we've become close. He went to suck flowers in the morning. Honey returns to the forest outside the cave in the evening. Bee started spitting honey like this a few days ago. Honey green onions, freshly roasted green onions. The sweetness is enhanced by the sticky honey of the poisonous bees. The grilled green onions with honey are really delicious. Even the rabbits are raving about it. At first I thought he was going to hurt me, but thanks to him, I was able to eat such fresh honey. Administrator Drip quietly sent you congratulations. Wait for me to turn my head. Only the disappearing dialogue box is seen. But I looked at the date marked on the wall. The time for the next blue moon is coming soon. I hope I can spend this time safely. Fast forward to the 121st day. I prepared plenty of tomatoes for me to spend the night. Even the little bee didn't come over today. It seems that they also know that there is a blue moon phenomenon today. Then I turned to look at the rabbit. I can feel them a little anxious today. It's almost evening. I was getting ready to get the rabbits home. I saw that the rabbit brother and sister-in-law seemed to be saying goodbye to rabbit cubs. I was wondering about this scene. Brother and sister-in-law ran to the hut, and he said hello to me. It's like saying good night to me. The door closed with a snap. I couldn't help but feel anxious when I saw this. Why don't the bunnies bring their children home? The blue moon is coming soon. As soon as the words fell, a faint blue moonlight came overhead. Wait for me to turn my head and look. But I saw a scene that made me unbelievable. After 5 rabbit cubs were exposed to moonlight, he turned into a fierce monster. I was so scared that I stayed where I was. The white rabbit couple gave birth to 5 yellow rabbits in the past night, just to help increase the number of people on my farm. Rabbit cub, after passing through the blue moon, instantly gained 99 kilograms of muscle. I was frightened by the sudden sight in front of me. Suddenly, 5 rabbit cubs exploded. A dazzling glow was emitted. At the same time, the rabbits' bodies are also undergoing metamorphosis. But I opened my eyes and found the little bunny grows up like a tree with hormones. Even the rabbit's hair turned white. And how can there be a rabbit with black hair and red eyes? I thought so. The blue moon phenomenon only causes plants to grow quickly. I didn't expect to let the rabbits grow up overnight. Presumably, the rabbit couple is also aware of this function of the blue moon. They will also tell the rabbits one by one at dusk. I crouched down and looked at the bunny in front of me. This is the 5th time they have been born to visit the moon. It's like the rite of passage of our humans at the age of 18. In vain I was worried just now. The 5 of them were illuminated with something. Seeing this, the black rabbit hurriedly ran to comfort me. See their cute faces. The old man's girlish heart really couldn't help it. Grabbing the black rabbit cub is a mess. It was fast at the early hours of the morning. The bunny couple excitedly opened the door. I saw that my cubs were safe and sound. Spent a lifetime of adulthood, immediately ran over to meet his rabbit cub with a smoke. I saw the happy appearance of the rabbit family. It seems like there's going to be a big dinner to celebrate. At this moment, a white rabbit cub raised his right hand. I looked at him quizzically. It's not going to be transformed again. The next second, the rabbit cub conjured a blue shovel in his hand. What is this operation? Immediately afterwards, the 4 rabbit cubs all conjured up props. There is a shovel, a glue kettle, a small cart, and the scythe. I watched as the rabbits fell into deep thought. It seems to be after turning into an adult rabbit, you can have your own exclusive items. I look like a black rabbit cub on the side. Doesn't he have his own props? After that, the black rabbit cub raised his left hand. An item appears. Model suddenly. A sledgehammer is in the hands of the black rabbit. I looked at this sledgehammer prop. He doesn't seem to belong to the props and the farming tools. The system should be able to tell me the answer, though. Then I looked down. I saw a warrior black rabbit on the head of the rabbit. The peasant white rabbit family actually gave birth to a warrior. The screen turns. Kettle bunny cubs. Follow your dad to water the fields. Side rabbit cub. Followed his mother to harvest in the green onion field. 2 other bunnies. I was also arranged to work with my own props. I'm in charge of storing the harvested vegetables. Look at the backs of the bunnies. I couldn't help but shed tears of emotion. The bunnies who used to be just mischievous finally grew up, but there is still a rabbit cub lying on the ground, eating baby tomatoes. I looked solemnly at the black rabbit. On this farm, a rabbit in charge of the battle doesn't seem to be of any use. It's not an idea to let him lie like this every day. At this time, the black rabbit boy seemed to have an idea. Pull me into the pond to the side. Yes, I didn't even think of it. He can hunt in the pond with a hammer. Then I brought the green onions, which were burning, because the light of the fire can attract piranhas in the pond. Let's see the power of the warrior bunny. I picked up the torch and shook it by the pond. A few moments later, a piranha pounced out of the water. Now is the time. Black rabbit cub, pick up the sledgehammer. Here's musical instruments. Just listen to the bang. The black rabbit hit the piranha perfectly and slammed him against the wall. The plane landed perfectly, but I was scared into a cold sweat when I looked at the scene in front of me. The piranhas on the walls have long been unrecognizable. The power of the warrior rabbit is really capped. So we had a lunch of piranha puree. It's just that his appearance really makes people unappetizing. Seeing this, I could only comfort the black soil softly. At first, I couldn't control the force. Normally, just practice a little more. The days that followed, under my arrangement, each rabbit has their own job. The time soon came to open the seed shop for the 2nd time. I couldn't wait to open the shop. There are 3 random seeds for sale today. At the current store level, you can only purchase 1 type of item. Then 3 options appeared in front of my eyes. 10 watermelon seeds, 5 totters. 50 sweet pumpkin seeds for 1 tat. 200 waxy corn seeds for $0.5 trillion. The price of these seeds is too high. I looked at myself. 0. The balance of 9 tower coins fell into deep thought. I haven't found it yet. Can give me a way to earn tower coins. Where I am is the black tower with 100 floors. Other ways for the awoken to earn tower coins. It can be obtained by clearing monsters on each floor. However, there is only 1 cleanup reward per tier. The second is to hunt monsters and sell the corpses of monsters to wandering merchants, or shop on the ground floor. This is the best source of income for the awakened. Finally, you can also earn rewards for completing missions. But I'm a farmer trapped in a dungeon. It is not possible to go through the first two ways. An example, only the heist provided by the tower keeper can be completed, in quest to get rewards. Then I looked up and called the administrator. Asked him if he can reward Charles for completing the quest. The administrator says he doesn't understand what you mean, but when you grow up, he'll give it to you. Looking at the dialogue box, I was speechless. What does it mean to wait for me to grow up? The administrator said it was a secret. But the next second the administrator says you have to be at least 300 years old. Looking at the administrator's words, I was bruised. This is special meow. You'll have to wait for me to bring my grandchildren before I can get your card. And how do I reproduce a single dog? I saw that the administrator chose to ignore my complaints. It seems that we can only find another way to get the tower coin. First, put 200 waxy corn seeds for just 0.5 tats. Buy it and talk about it. With corn I can make my own bread. It doesn't sound like a bad idea. You buy 200 waxy corn seeds. The account balance is 0.4 tar coin. You get 5 seeds. Please use your store mileage again after 30 days. The seed bank randomly drops a bag of seeds on your hand. I immediately poured out the seeds. With all of this later, we'll be able to eat delicious bread. Just have hope. Everything will be fine. But then my stomach growled uncontrollably. Or honestly cook a meal. Eat and drink enough before drying. After a while, the rabbits and I were well fed. At this time, the little bee also happened to come to the dungeon. Then it rubbed against my face with ease. Suddenly, the tentacles of the little bee trembled. It seems to sense something. The sound flew abruptly above the dungeon. Be on the alert. Seeing this, the black rabbit picked up a sledgehammer and stood aside. I saw a figure flash above the dungeon. There can't be a monster discovering this place. Then a voice came from above the dungeon. He explained that he had no ill intentions, but we have not let our guard down in the slightest. I saw a creature jump from above the dungeon, rotate 360 degrees in the air, and land steadily. He looked up at me and began to introduce himself. His name is Theo, and a wandering businessman who understands the family. I met a talking cat in the dungeon. It is a stray cat with human consciousness. Green jewel-like eyes. It exudes an extraordinary atmosphere. I pretended to be calm and asked about its purpose. I saw that the kitten needed to bow her head and say hello to me. I'm here to trade with you. Then I kept rummaging through the package. Suddenly, its stomach gurgled and gurgled. Theo lowered his head in embarrassment. I think he's hungry. An anti-object-oriented idea was born in my mind. You're saying your name is Theo. Is that right? Do you want to eat grilled fish? The aroma of a grilled piranha. No cat can refuse. Theo, however, waved his hand. His mom said she couldn't accept food from strangers. Immediately, I came over, and my name was Park Sejun. We know each other now. We're friends, aren't we? Would you refuse food from a friend? Theo, who hasn't eaten enough for 3 days. After all, I couldn't resist the temptation of grilled fish. Soon I finished all 5 piranhas I grilled. Seeing this, Theo stood up and bowed to me in thanks. I hurriedly interrupted him to pay 0.5 to lie down and thank you. Theo was taken aback. Isn't this for me to eat for free? I smiled at him. You're a businessman. You should know that there is no such thing as a free lunch. Then the rabbits gathered around Theo. Theo happily paid me 0.5 tar coin. Thereupon, my account balance has finally been collected for 1 tar coin. But Theo didn't seem to be very happy. He came all the way to me to make a deal. It turned out that I was paid a tower coin. This gave him a big blow to his confidence. But he soon regained his confidence. He swore he would slaughter me next. I saw the medicine tray sitting on the ground. Originally, he specially had people bring 3 treasures from outside the tower. A cup with the magic of keeping the temperature. A mini fan that turned on its own with wind magic. There's also a portable wrist with fire magic to keep you warm. I hurriedly interrupted the introduction of Western medicine. He thought I was moved. He looked at me happily. But I said it lightly. You're rubbish. Xiao was so angry that he put away the treasure. Angrily scolded me for being an illiterate idiot. But soon the medicine felt like the stupidest meow. I picked up the thermos. Explained that this cup is connected by blocking the outside. Touch to keep warm. There is no magic at all. And this mini fan is even more chicken. Wait until the battery is out of power and won't spin. Listen to Theo's rebuttal. He didn't believe everything I said. That's what he spent. I saw that the fan happened to stop spinning at this time. You see, this is the state of running out of power. Immediately, Theo frantically banged on the mini fan, trying to awaken his magic. That's not what the boss said. But he soon accepted that he had been deceived. At this point, Theo kept banging on the ground. He felt very aggrieved. Under my constant reassurance, Theo told me about this time. It turned out that he was an aboriginal on the 75th floor of the Black Tower. He was holding a large skewer of grilled rice fish. And like the girl Mary North, he was knocked out by Mary. I caught a fish that I had worked hard for 3 months. He didn't know what he was doing wrong. I saw a black figure standing behind me. It turned out to be a black cat, Oren. He is the rich second generation in the village. Oren handed Mary the fresh salmon in his hand. But Theo knew Mary wouldn't like that. However, he didn't seem to know much about Mary's whereabouts. Theo then caught up with Mary, grabbed Mary's hand. Mary, have you forgotten our memories? How happy we used to be. I saw Mary withdraw her hand. He looked at Theo viciously and warned him to be self-aware. I'll just laugh at you a few times. You have the illusion of love. I hate being like you the most. Poor cat that smells like sheep carp. Theo, after being rejected by his beloved girl, he decided to leave the village. He's going to come out and make money, then go back and get revenge on Oron's black meow. After listening to such a bloody dog-licking story, I deeply regret Theo's emotional intelligence. But there's still more to come. Theo spent 50 tat. Merchant qualification certificate. Take 5 tats with your whole body to smash esports. Unexpectedly, I met the Profiteer Skalam. He not only provides some information about the new members who have entered the tower, he also coaxed him to buy 3 treasures outside the tower. That's what Theo has experienced in the past few days. He was learning about 3 treasures. It's all rubbish without magic. Very frustrated, but I listened to his story and fell into deep thought. How can this cat be so easy to deceive? But such a partner is exactly what I want. Immediately, I hurriedly stepped forward to comfort Theo's emotions. I suggested that we might as well work together, and I can still take care of what I eat. I promise you will be the richest in the village in the future. I don't know what Theo thinks. He was the only college student in the village, but chose to go out to wander. First time doing business. Was deceived by a black-hearted businessman and was penniless. I originally thought I was the new Black Tower's big injustice. Unexpectedly, he met me for the first time. I also paid for the fare to go home. But I looked at the wandering merchant with satisfaction. Theo, I really appreciate your abilities. I don't know if you'd like to be my partner. Theo was even more sad when he heard this. Thought I was mocking him. After all, he had just been abandoned by his girlfriend. Was coaxed by black-hearted merchants again. Seeing this, I yelled to the other side. I saw that the rabbit couple was already ready to lie comfortably. Thereupon, Theo enjoyed the bunny's service with a bewildered expression. I know the 3 items that Theo brought. It's all useless garbage. The money on him has long since been spent. I raised it to Theo with excitement on my face. My co-op plan: if you sell my stuff to someone else, I will give you 3% to 5% of your earnings as a reward. And that's not all. I can also provide you with food and shelter. Followed by, the white rabbit couple holds 10 grilled piranhas. Most of them are correct. These beauties in front of you. Flavor of piranha. You can enjoy it every week. Theo was worried. Will I lie to him as I did before? After all, the bad things that happened to him recently. It's really too much. But Theo's body is honest. To test the sincerity of the other party, Theo had to wipe off the outflow of horror. If you were willing to serve 20 grilled fish, let's think about it. For me, wake up. I'm afraid you don't have what you want. Isn't it just 20 piranhas? I'm in a good mood today. Add 5 more to you. Theo looked at the 25 piranhas stacked in front of him. I almost couldn't control myself. That's when I dropped the bombshell. It's not just 25 benefits per week. Also, when you're here, piranhas will be offered to you unconditionally. At this point, Theo's mind is full of delicious piranhas. I've completely forgotten all the previous coaxing. Seeing this, I stood up and asked Theo if he had any paper and pen. After a while, Theo pulled out a pen and paper from the package. I immediately picked up the pen, quickly write the terms of the cooperation on vellum paper. Then he grabbed Theo's meow hand and pressed it on his arm. That's when I breathed a sigh of relief. By the time Theo reacted, it was too late. The craft paper flew into the air on its own. A flash of light vanished without a trace. In its place is a system. I saw that the words of the contract were written with a lifetime circulation contract. In the Black Tower, the contract is one of the important documents that cannot be torn up. Theo's first contract in his life. I took it away like that. That's it. I also wanted to come over and comfort Theo. The other man shook my hand away. Theo told me not to rejoice too soon. The first clause of the contract is very clearly written. If within a month, the total sales amount is less than 5 tower coins, you can break the contract. And I was completely unaffected, because I have a product that people can't refuse. In my sugar-coated shells, under the bombardment, Theo gradually let his guard off. Sure enough, it's a simple kitten. Theo, however, suddenly sent me a soul torture. What the hell do you want me to sell for you? I smiled faintly. Do you still need to think about it? Tomatoes, of course. This is a tomato with human consciousness. It will not only enchant itself, it also self-ripens. And it also has a hidden feature. Just eat it. You can lose a kilogram of fat. These little tomatoes will be my code to get rich. Well, my partner, Theo, thought I was crazy. A tiny tomato sells for 0.01 tar. It is also quite expensive. However, I disagree with him. I'm going to decide to sell it for 0.05 bucks. Listen up. Theo looked at the holy jade in his hand with a look of surprise on his face. Can it really be sold at this price? But I was full of faith. I told Theo to relax and sell. The results are sure to surprise you. Soon the peasant rabbits, the tomatoes and cat food have all been packed. Look at the piles of items in front of you. But I was in trouble. So much stuff. How can a kitten move? I saw Theo unwrapping the baggage he was carrying with both hands. Then he threw it at the tomato. The burden can't help but magically mix small tomatoes and piranhas. They all sucked it in. Then it landed firmly on the ground. I didn't expect the baggage that Theo carried with him. It's still a space magic weapon. Then my partner Theo embarked on a wandering journey. I'll leave Theo. He certainly won't let me down on this trip. The screen turns. The camera goes to the 38th floor of the tower. I saw a spider approaching the human. Several hunters quickly lined up. It turned out that this was the elite hunter of the Phoenix Guild, cleaning up monsters on the 38th floor. Suddenly, the man grabbed a gap, slashed at the monster's head. It deserved to be the top of the earth. Elite hunter of the guild. It only took a moment to end the battle. The younger sister, Jessica, immediately stepped forward to show her goodwill, but was reprimanded. You can't let your guard down in such a place. Suddenly, the man noticed a flower in the grass next to him. The whole group immediately became vigilant. The monster in front of him actually stretched out a cat and mouse. It turned out to be Theo, a wandering merchant. After a long journey, he's finally here. The 38th floor that humans are currently able to reach. A few girls saw that it was a cute cat. They stepped forward one after another. Theo was overwhelmed. Luckily, I told Theo about it a long time ago. Human habits and ways of getting along. And I'm telling Theo in 3. The purchase of women of the earth is very tough. And he saw that the people were gathered together. Theo took out the tomatoes in his bag. Everyone looked at each other in amazement. I3 actually sells cherry tomatoes. Seeing this, the captain was full of disdain. Today's vendors really don't know how to do business. What we awakened are most lacking at the moment. It is a meat food that can be protected. It's not a tomato like a snack. Hearing this, Theo clasped his hands. You are stupid human beings. Just confirm their attributes. You'll know. The black-robed man immediately opened the attribute panel. Seeing the attributes in front of you only adds 0.01 mana. Representation is also too weak. But how much does this tomato sell for? After hearing Theo's burst of the price of 0.05 tar coins, the man was dumbfounded. All that can be bought with money is a big injustice. However, after the woman saw the attributes clearly, the introduction. 1 tomato can actually lose 1 kilogram of fat. Listen to those who haven't looked at the properties panel. Suddenly stopped. What did you just say? 1 tomato reduces 1 kilogram of fat. Theo was startled by the scene in front of him. He didn't understand. Why did the humans who were about to leave suddenly turn back? Then I was crazy about buying tomatoes. It may be a herd effect. Others have followed. To procure. At this time, I was leisurely picking tomatoes in the dungeon. Although small tomatoes have dissolved fat for the awakened, and the effect of increasing mana, but their bodies have been optimized through awakening. The result is that the effect will not be significant. But for those who have not awakened outside the tower, able to lose fat while eating, there are no side effects of small tomatoes. How can there be no market? The camera returns to the 38th floor. Western medicine has just experienced a big war. The tomatoes they brought with them were all gone. In its place were the walls of the towers on the ground. I'm a farmer, but you don't have to farm it yourself. Just by lying in bed every day, you can get gold. Just because I took in 2 white rabbits, farmers who can plow the fields. They also gave birth to 5 litters of rabbits. Other than that, I also have a wandering merchant cat as a partner. He will take the vegetables I grow. All of them are sold to humans in the Black Tower. At this time, I was looking at the vegetable patch in front of me and fell into deep thought. Based on my experience with growing tomatoes, of the more than 1,200 seeds, only 732 sprouted. And these carrot seeds, the germination rate should also be around 60%. It may be that my current farmer occupation level is too low, resulting in no more germination. Wait until I level up. There will definitely be better cultivation skills. As long as I keep planting, you can reap more wealth. It's just because of my clever choice. Team up with Theo, a wandering trader. This is the fastest way I can harvest the towers. Suddenly, the movement behind me caught my attention. I saw the black rabbit lighting a torch by the pool, then throw it hard over the pool. More than a dozen piranhas burst out of the water. Immediately, the black rabbit picked up the sledgehammer and leaped. A beautiful set of large pendulums landed perfectly after a combo. Look at the masterpiece of the black rabbit in front of you. I feel very relieved. Suddenly, an upgraded blue light surged from the black rabbit's body. Seeing as such, we're satisfied. The black rabbit gradually became a qualified hunter. The black rabbit of the first upgrade held its head high. The white rabbit brothers also applauded and congratulated. Since everyone is so happy, then have some fresh food. I took out the thermos cup that Theo had left behind. Immediately after opening the lid, it was stuffed with coffee. Explained that this thermos cup came to the Black Tower. None of them have been opened. Then, these coffees are my possessions. Being able to make a cup of coffee in such a harsh environment. It's a blessing that I cultivated in my last life. Then I asked the little bee to contribute a little honey. A glass of honey Maricano is ready. In the cool water of the cave, melted ground coffee and bee sticky honey. The perfect combination of bitter and sweet is formed. This is about half a year since I lost contact with the outside world. First coffee experience. After taking a big sip of insolence, I handed it to the rabbit next to me. Looked at. The black rabbit curiously took the straw and took a small puff. Suddenly, a bitterness that he had never experienced before hit his stomach. It seems that he has tasted all the hardships of his previous life. Billy, the rabbits are still not used to drinking such bitter things. At this point, my eyes followed the little bee. What is that thing? Below the figure of the little bee. It's actually a huge beehive. Did it move into the cave today? This time, the little bees finally don't have to fly home every night. Drip receives an additional task. Please give the Black Tower keeper 10 magical tomatoes. There are no rewards. If refused, the administrator will be sad. It seems that the administrators have learned wisely too. I used to keep the tasks up. This way you don't have to give more tomatoes out. Now the tone of the administrator has changed. There is no use of coercion or coercion. Come and get me done. Even played the emotional card. Then I don't. It seems that giving him tomatoes can't be said. The caretaker appreciates your kindness. Oh, you will thank me now. It's so comfortable. But I thought about it for a second time. I don't seem to be paid anything. I was acting like a fool just now. Dominated by administrators. He's the most handsome cat, Theo, in the village. Confessing to his girlfriend for the first time, was dug into the corner by the rich second generation. So Theo chose to leave this sad place. Decided to make a fortune as a wandering businessman. Unexpectedly, he was cheated out of all his belongings by the black-hearted businessman Skalam. Is the so-called frustration in love. The mall is proud. Theo and I became partners by chance. Responsible for the magic vegetables I grow, sold to humans in the Black Tower. Half a month passed quickly. The tavern was distressed. It stands to reason that props can't be sold. Theo should come back to him. This way he can continue to squeeze Theo's value. After hearing this, the two old watches expressed their doubts. Aren't you afraid that Theo will come back to settle accounts with you? I saw Scarum say lightly about the poor cat. Now I should be working hard to repay the money I borrowed. Not to mention the principal. Even the increased interest will not be paid back for the rest of his life. Listen to the surprise of others. You are really a genius. Where else can you find this kind of wrongdoer? Skalam enjoyed the pain of being praised. But he could not have made his own way of making money. Sell it out. Open today's wandering merchant ranking chart. He now needs to find new prey. To maintain income, look at the old watch. You have 45.2 taps. It entered the 999th place in the rankings. But Skalam didn't have time to rejoice. Just because he saw a scene that made him unbelievable. The ranking clearly shows that the 982nd place has 50 tarls. It turned out to be Theo, the wandering merchant cat. The other two seem to have seen the message as well. I didn't expect that cat to rank higher than our old watch. Just listen to the snap. Skaram slammed his fist into the table. There's no way he's going to sell them. The props I sold him were rubbish. Theo, what the hell did you do? The screen turns. Come to the dungeon. Theo finally came back after half a month of traveling. Look at. He yelled at me, why did it take so long for you to come back? I thought you had been kidnapped. I saw Theo, trembling and apologizing to me. After selling out, I won't go to other floors to play. Why are you still going to be chic? You go to play for a few days. Theo told me that he was out for 4 days. But I remember him saying it when he went out. It takes about 10 days to get to and from the 30th floor. It also means that he sold out of tomatoes on the same day. Then I put my hand on Theo's shoulder. Smiled softly at him. If you don't want to meet Party A, Daddy's side suggests that you get everything done. So Theo took him on the 38th floor. The process of selling magic tomatoes to humans. Tell the story again. As I expected, all the goods were sold on the same day. Theo then took out the heavy package and handed it to me. The package was full. There are 50 tower coins. I took out 2 tack-ins and handed them to Theo. Here's a reward for you. If you next time, if you dare to sneak away to play by yourself, I'll cancel your reward. Immediately afterward, Theo assured me. This will never happen again. But the first sale turned out to be so good. It was unexpected. One thought. My name is about to be known to mankind. I was so excited that I couldn't sleep. But Theo looked blindfolded. In my explanation, because the tomato information bar will display the name of the grower afterward. Theo broke out in a cold sweat. Turned out to be for novice wandering merchants. There is an unwritten rule. Other merchants, in order not to let the customer or the maker be robbed, it will block the source of the goods. If Park Sejun knows his grower logo is obscured, I'll probably be detained. You may even lose your hard-earned job. Seeing this, Theo hurriedly picked up the package and got up. Hurry up and get me tomatoes and piranhas. I'm gonna keep going. Then he rushed to the white rabbit card. Keep filling the package with tomatoes. Just ask for a second and leave immediately. And I watched Theo's behavior confused. This cat shouldn't be crazy about money. Seiko Magic Tomato is sold for the first time. It was robbed by humans. But Theo, the wandering merchant, was very distressed. It's just that he hid some rules from his employer, Park Sejun, to protect the customers of other merchants, where the maker is not robbed. Greenhorn, grower sign of goods sold by a wandering trader, will be forcibly obscured. And break this rule. It's about earning 1,000 tar as soon as possible. Become a mid-tier wandering merchant. At this time, Theo had traveled for 10 days. Once again, we came to the 38th floor of the Black Tower. Suddenly, two humans popped up in the grass. Surround him. Suddenly, Theo was confused. What the hell is going on? The person who came said, they were 3 days ago. Just look around for Theo, a wandering merchant, just to buy back the magic tomato in his hand again. Theo was stunned. Is this little tomato so popular in human society? At this point, Theo made a decision. In order to earn 1,000 tarls as soon as possible, he decided to raise the price of tomatoes without authorization. Humans, listen up. Now tomatoes are 0.07 tat each. Everyone was shocked. They don't understand. Why does the price of small tomatoes at the good inn go up? At this time, the Captain Kim Dong-sik blew up. What's so strange about angrily scolding the men's party? Such a good East West sells for only 0.05 tau. It's even stranger that it's so cheap. The captain then dropped a bag of tart coins, and 200 baby tomatoes were bought. The rest of the team accepted the price when they saw the captain. I didn't dare to say anything more. I just don't quite understand the captain's sudden turnaround. 10 days ago, Captain Kim Dong-sik. But they scoff at these little tomatoes. It turned out that the captain brought back 20 small tomatoes last week, after giving it to his daughter. After the daughter finished eating, he even sent a little padded jacket to his father. This is the first time in 18 years that his daughter has confessed to him. He vowed to never disappoint his daughter's expectations. Immediately, he led the team into the Black Tower again. That's where we are today. Soon under the leadership of Captain Kim Dong-sik, the 1,500 cherry tomatoes that Theo brought disappeared in an instant. At this time, the captain asked Theo, when can I buy baby tomatoes next time? Seeing this, Theo informed the captain, he'll be back here in 10 days. So Jing-dong shouted loudly to the team members, now that our main task is done, in the crusade against the spider within today's time. Then he went down to the tower and went home. At this time, Theo earned a total of 105 tar coins. The heart smiled and blossomed. I didn't expect the stretcher to rise by 0.02 tar coin. It does not affect the sales of small tomatoes at all. At this rate, it should soon be promoted to the middle street wandering merchant. Suddenly, the three girls in front of him blocked Theo's footsteps. Are you a cat, please? Theoton was speechless. I'm not called a cat. My name is Theo. Is a wandering merchant. Seeing this, the woman realized her rudeness. Hurriedly explained to Theo. She resembles her own orange cat. After that, Theo turned and left. Little sister, you recognize the wrong person. There is only one handsome meow in the world. Theo, this is... The woman pulled out a freeze-dried strip from her bag and handed it to Theo. Don't you want to taste it? It's delicious. Seeing this, Theo said that she only eats fragrant, squirting grilled fish. That's what happened. The woman is not consenting. So he put the freeze-dried freeze into Theo's mouth. Meow meow, what is this? Meow is delicious. The taste is fragrant. Melt in your mouth. It's simply food that was born for me. At this time, the woman took out a few more freeze-dried strips. As long as you agree to take a picture with me, I'll freeze-dry you. Theo didn't understand what it meant to take pictures. He just wants to get the beauty in front of him. Just look at the camera in front of you. Today is a day off for all the piranhas in the dungeon. It was also me and the bunny family on vacation in the dungeon. Days of rest. Actually, I'm just blocking the entrance and exit of piranhas. I also specially let the black rabbit learn the swimming skills. Don't look at how handsome the black rabbit is paddling now. Just yesterday, I found the black pool. An unidentified object is floating. When I got closer, it almost scared me to death. The black rabbit actually fainted in the black pool full of piranhas. If I hadn't found out earlier, he'd already been torn apart by piranhas. After swimming, if this is the time for some sweet afternoon tea, that's even better. But the jar I used for honey was already empty. But I did not see a baby bee in a few days. Wait for me to take a closer look. Only to find out, a swarm of small bees gathered around the hive. Immediately, I was shocked. Are these the children of the little bees? I didn't realize it before. So many bees have appeared in the dungeon. Then I looked at the small tomato plantation on the side. Why don't you pick up some gifts and visit the little bees? At this time, a small bee emerges from the hive. I saw a man holding a tomato flower. Shout out loud below. But I was greeted by a spectacular spectacle. A few little bees were glaring at me, and already in combat form. Where have we ever seen such a big battle? The white rabbits were so frightened that they fled in all directions. The warrior black rabbit immediately took out a sledgehammer and prepared to meet the enemy. Seeing this, I hurriedly asked the black rabbit to stop. Little bees, and we are friends. Isn't it, black rabbit? You can't do anything with them. But the little bee still flew towards me with red eyes. Suddenly, the little bees stopped in midair. I was spared. Then I saw something unbelievable. A giant venomous queen bee emerges from the hive. It turns out that the baby bees, a mother who mistakenly thinks I'm going to hurt them. That's when I seem to think of something. You're not the same little bee you used to be. Listen up. The queen bee called me twice in agreement. Who understands the family? The little bee that used to be so cute turned out to be the queen bee. This single man is in an empty dungeon. Met to be Lori. However, the queen bee gave me a familiar look. I saw this scene in the little black rabbit. I can't calm down for a long time. The little bee that lay on top of me at the beginning actually became the queen of Bee Lori. It all started when we first met. Originally, small bees after a long period of pollination of tomato flowers. His body gradually emitted a rich aroma. The flesh of the whole body is chubby. At home, he was even ostracized by the rich and wealthy people. The little bee seems to understand. I can't stay in my old home anymore. He must find a hive for himself all over again. The dungeon I'm in is the best nesting location. Not only is there plenty of food, there's also a safe spawning environment. Thereupon, after the little bee went through the ordeal of 99 12 times, his body began to grow and metamorphose until it evolves to a state of abundance. The little bee was successfully completed. Evolution of the body from youth to maturity. After listening to the story of the little bee, I connected. Hurriedly handed him the fresh tomato flowers. It's just a little bit hard. This is a gift to congratulate you on becoming queen bee. Listen to the little blushing little face of the queen of bees, and pounced on my shoulder. It seems that the original little bee has not changed at all. The offspring of the little bees. Seeing his mother's strange behavior, I couldn't help but look at each other. And they all lunged at me. As for sticks, fortunately, the little bee did not forget my relationship with him. Otherwise, the rabbits and I will be miserable, and me with a group of small animals. After a few days of peaceful life, I'm sleeping, woken up by the sound of the rabbits squeaking. Then I was dragged to the vegetable patch by Daddy Bunny. He seemed to want to tell me he found a big baby. Wait for me to take a closer look. It's actually a carrot that is emitting blue light. Seeing this, all the rabbits immediately gathered around. It seems that the day before yesterday, after the baptism of the blue moon, thus evolving the blue moon version of the magic carrot. The rabbit's reaction was clear. Told me about their intentions. Then I grabbed the carrot rhizome hard. He pulled it out of the field. Unexpectedly, this carrot is the size of a thermos cup. At this time, the system sends a prompt. The name of the plant is shown to be agile carrot. An agile carrot with the atmosphere of a blue door. The carrots take in the nutrients of the soil in the tower, plus the magic that the blue moon brings to him. Makes his taste even better. After use, it will permanently increase by 0.05 agility. Cultivator farmer poo test bacteria. The shelf life is 45 days. The crop is graded as 1. Your work experience rises dramatically. Level 2 harvest skill maturity is significantly increased. Gains 70 XP. But after reading the system's prompts, I fell into deep thought. When harvesting blue moon magic tomatoes before, shown our first grade masterpieces, the XP gained has also increased from 50 to 70. But I can't judge for a while. What causes change? Then I crouched down, hand the first blue moon carrot to Daddy Bunny. It's the result of the rabbit's family's hard work day and night. The first carrot must be given to them to taste first. Looked at, the sickle rabbit cub hurriedly pulled out his big baby, and motioned for Daddy to throw the carrot over. Listen up. Daddy Bunny jerked the carrot high into the air. Suddenly, the sickle rabbit leaped forward. I saw a burst of sword light and sword shadow flash in front of me. The carrots are divided into an average of 7 pieces, and it landed firmly in the hands of the rabbits. This wave of operations simply stunned everyone present. I didn't expect the skill of the sickle rabbit cub. It's actually no less than a warrior black rabbit. Forthwith, the black rabbit glanced at his little friend indignantly. It is not difficult to see from the black rabbit's expression. This is to make the other party keep a low profile. Soon I will be in a vegetable patch with other blue moon vegetables. Collected it, unexpectedly. This time I actually harvested 5 blue moon magic tomatoes. Followed by, I received a message from my administrator. For the last blue moon fruit. I didn't feel guilty about him. After getting the blue moon magic tomatoes, the admin thanked me, but I would have preferred more. He is able to repay the administrator with the farmer productivity. Indicates that your requirements will be fulfilled soon. However, at this time, administrator on the other end, but in the tireless study of holding a book on how to become a top manager, written by Kaiser Futani. However, he's been studying for 2.5 days, but I couldn't find the terms of how to manage the farmer. Seemingly, I'll have to find a chance to ask his grandfather in person. The kitten goes out every time. Will be frantically hunted by humans, just to snap up the magic tomato in his hand. After a long 5-day trek, Theo, the wandering merchant, finally returns to the dungeon. Unexpectedly, Theo had just entered the dungeon. I was warmly welcomed by the little bees. In Theo's impression, bees are meat predators in the Black Tower. This made him very uneasy. When the baby bees are born, Theo happened to be out selling baby tomatoes. No wonder. They will become hostile to cats that come to the dungeon. Forthwith, I stepped forward and picked up Theo and jerked him off a few times, and explained it to the little bees. Theo the cat is our family. And be second. I was haired by Theo's 82 year. The sneeze switch is turned on. Seeing this, I slammed Theo's fat face. What a Gus! Dared to sneak attack the boss with body hair. Suddenly, Theo was blindsided by my operation. Quickly, he pulled out a bag full of tower coins from his backpack. Hand it to me. This is the harvest of this sale of magic tomatoes. Wait until I open the bag and count it. It was found that there were 75 tower coins. But at this time, Theo pulled another leather bag out of his backpack. Then he told me excitedly. This is the additional income he brings through the price increase. After hearing about the human beings in order to buy magic tomatoes. After waiting for several days, Theo was in a hurry. Increased the unit price of cherry tomatoes by 40%. After saying that, Theo anxiously asked me for credit. Just because of the last time I went out. He secretly went out to play for a few days. As a result, his position was demoted to an ordinary employee by me. This time, he's going to be back in office. Just be my partner. However, I wasn't surprised by Theo's performance. Followed by, I silently pulled out 2 tower coins and handed them to Theo. This is your reward for your hard work this time. Seeing this, Theo stared at me pitifully. Hoped to hear the words of his anticipation from my mouth. And yet the next moment, I told him in all seriousness, this is not enough to restore the original. The identity turned out to be 2 minutes ago. I've received messages from elsewhere. The administrator is in order to be able to get it from me. Get more delicious blue moon tomatoes. Reported to me very clearly. Theo at the stall. The price of tomato increased by 0.02 tong in Manga without authorization. That's what happened. Theo's strange behavior caught my attention. Theo, who was unable to reinstate his position, did not feel a trace of distress. Even took a cat strip out of the bag, licking and eating like crazy. What is this? Theo? Where did the cat strip in his hand come from? But Theo quickly dispelled my concerns. Cat strips like this. Theo's backpack was almost full. It's all paid by taking pictures with humans. I couldn't figure it out. There are actually humans who will do it for cats. Cat strips were brought in from the outside. It turns out that there are 2 ways for external items to enter the tower. One is when you were first summoned in by the Black Tower. What to bring with you. The other is an awakened hunter. It is possible to enter the Black Tower with a kilogram of items. Usually a solar-powered smartphone for the awakened. Like a smartphone out there, you can take a simple photo. And to carry out closed passage. Also bring some dry food to fill your stomach. And spiritual food exclusive to mankind. But in order to bring a cat strip to the cat in the tower. It's the first time I've heard of it. Suddenly a brilliant idea struck me. If you can make the humans outside. If you bring me something in, wouldn't I have no worries about food and clothing? That's what happened. Theo saw that I wasn't quite right. Could it be that he wants to eat cat strips? But he was too embarrassed to open his mouth to me. Seeing this, Theo slowly handed over the cat strip. You can eat a little bit too. The blue man has awakened. The only peasant occupation in the Black Tower. Just harvest the magic tomatoes on time every day. The dream of becoming the richest man in Country H. It's the nail on the list. It's just because he has a wandering merchant who can help him cash in. Cat Theo. Ever since seeing Theo from the hands of humans. After bringing back the items outside the Black Tower. In Park Sejun's mind, another business plan emerged. However, Theo saw that his boss's state didn't seem quite right. Simply thought that the other party didn't have cat strips to eat. So the heart is twisted. Looked at. Park Sejun looked at the cat strip handed over by Theo lightly. Then take the cat strip away. Even went too far to put all the cat strips in the cat backpack. Ministry confiscation. Theo has never seen such a scoundrel as Park Sejun. This is obviously the reward he got for taking pictures with his young sister. Then he threw himself on the boss's chest, crying and begging the other party to return the cat strip to him. In part, Sejun told Theo very seriously, "Why confiscate his stuff? Because you have violated Article 3 of our treaty. Without the permission of Party A, do not enter into transactions with other customers. So you and the young lady take pictures in exchange for the payment. Nature is mine." Theo was stunned for a moment. He's a cat whose IQ often drops. Or to understand these curves and curves. That's what Park Sejun wants. Then leaned over and gently comforted Theo's little head. "Dear partner, don't be discouraged. We can talk about new business together." However, Theo hears his boss call him partner again. The grief of having the cat strip confiscated dissipated instantly. You have to know Theo, who ran out of the countryside. At present, it is most necessary to be recognized by others. Immediately after that, Park Sejun told Theo, "You can now enjoy the treatment of a 1-hour partner. As long as he performs well in the future, you can even enjoy it for a longer period of time." See here. Brother Tion had to complain. Park Sejun and Theo Mingming signed the partnership agreement. But take advantage of cats. I don't understand the terms of the contract, to CP the plot. It really looks like it's going to feel more than for the kitten. But this may also be a feature of this manga. After all, Theo's setting is still very cute. Okay, the picture is back in the dungeon, since the boss opened it to Theo. After the treatment model of the partners, the rabbits are getting busy. Prepare a feast of grilled fish for Theo. In Park Sejun, the black-hearted boss, is even more heartwarming. Take the cat strip that was just confiscated from Theo. Give it to him, but the simple and lovely Theo. I enjoy the treatment of a partner. Brother Tion believes in the near future. The West Olympics will have partner treatment again, so as to obey the boss's words. That's what happened. Theo tells Park that he wants to eat grilled noodles. Look at, the boss hurriedly went to the fire to cook the fish himself. Seeing that time is almost up, Park Sejun asked the question in his heart. Every time Theo goes to the 38th floor to set up a magic tomato, didn't meet the monsters in the tower. Listening to this, Theo raised his head confidently. Because I have a vagrant trader certificate. It turned out that the wandering merchant wanted to maintain his qualifications. Expensive dues are paid to the association every year. There are a lot of benefits, although as the merchant level increases, membership dues have also increased. But the association's benefits have also increased year on year. For example, just take out the certificate issued by the association. The monsters in the tower will stop attacking the merchants. Case, that's not what it represents. The wandering merchant can now take humans across floors. That's a good question, but it's a pity. That's impossible. The wandering merchant is immune to monster attacks. There are also special shortcuts through the floors. And if it's a normal channel, Theo simply can't reach the 38th floor in 5 days. And Park Sejun asked the question that the audience wanted to know. The dungeon in the Black Tower belongs to him on several floors. Trapped in the dungeon for half a year. But I never knew where I was. And there are hordes of monsters outside. Therefore, it is even more unlikely that there will be the idea of escaping. Listen to Theo blink at Carslin's big eyes. Lightly said that we are laminated in 99. Don't you know? Suddenly, Park Sejun was hit in the head by this sentence. Stunned and motionless. We laminate in 99. Don't you know, boss? A total of 100 floors of the Black Tower. He was trapped on the 99th floor. Originally, he still wanted to use the identity of the Awakened. Free access to the Black Tower on the first floor. Yao Sejun has accumulated the fighting spirit for half a year. Shattered in an instant. Could be that he really can't get out of the Black Tower? But think about it. Nothing seems to have changed. He just knew what floors he was living on the Black Tower. However, Theo thought he had irritated his boss by saying the wrong thing. Thereupon, the two meow hands are constantly shaking Park Sejun's head. Hopefully he'll come to his senses. After all, his grilled fish won't taste good if it's burnt. Well done. Theo managed to pull one back. After a moment, Park Sejun had completely calmed down. At present, the humans have only cleared up to the 38th floor of the Black Tower. The dungeon on the 99th floor is a long way off. That's when it happened. Theo stood by and instructed the boss to grill the fish. So Theo's partner privileges. The happy ones were stopped. Theo was immediately very frustrated. He had just gotten used to the treatment before it came to an abrupt end. Suddenly, Park Sejun sees the wandering merchant's badge around Theo's neck. Suddenly there was the Lord. Is there a picture, that is? At a time when humanity needs resources the most, I was also able to show up as a wandering merchant. In this way, not only can the prestige of mankind be gained, you can also get a steady stream of him through trading. Come to think of this, Plasteria has rekindled its fighting spirit. He then consulted Theo what he could do to get him. Also became a wandering merchant. In response to him was a cold water that once again extinguished his fighting spirit. I saw Theo covering his mouth and meowing and laughing. No, no, no.